Old school RuneScape is genuinely one of the best MMORPGs to play right now, and I know with me saying that a lot of people who have never played the game before are probably gonna roll their eyes, but please, hear me out.
Yep. Sure
Old school RuneScape is an MMO that, if you can get over the graphics, which I've personally come to love due to its minimalist yet distinctive style, has absolutely everything. It's got the most difficult and most unique quests in the entire MMO genre. It's got PvP content for low, medium, and end game players. It's got some extremely difficult PvE content in the form of bosses, wave-based challenges, and raids. It's got a ton of non-combat life skills, a player-driven economy, a large active player base that's actually growing rather than shrinking. The game isn't pay to win. Most of the world is interactable and serves a purpose. The players actually get to vote on the content that makes it into the game. There's regular updates. The game doesn't take itself too seriously. The community as a whole are generally quite friendly. There's a ton of mini games and distractions. Despite what it may look like, the skill cap in this game is very high. And unlike traditional theme park MMOs, content in RuneScape isn't made completely irrelevant whenever new stuff is added. On top of that, it's a game that gives you a deep feeling of constant non-linear progression. There's also a bit of an esports scene in the form of Deadman mode where players compete for money. And when it comes to media platforms such as Twitch, YouTube, and Reddit, this game has so many top-tier content creators that will give you hours of content to watch whilst you're training your skills. I felt it necessary to kind of rap god some of the best parts of this game to you right off the bat, because most of the time whenever I talk about old school RuneScape, people who haven't played the game take one look at the graphics, see that it's a fairly old game, and just completely write it off.
Yeah, you're right. Very
A common misconception is that people only play this game for nostalgia, and there's no point in getting into it now because the glory days are over, when in reality, old school RuneScape has roughly 4 times more concurrent players than Black Desert's NAEU version, with many new players joining the game that didn't even play it back in the day. Just to put the popularity of this game into perspective, if OSRS was on Steam, it'd be battling with Warframe for the 7th highest concurrent players on Steam charts. On October the 30th, old school RuneScape's also coming to mobile devices, and as far as I'm aware, it'll be one of the only full, non-pay-to-win MMORPGs to ever be released on mobile. This is the only mobile game I've ever been excited to play, and when it comes out, I think the game will get quite a large population boost. With all that said, let's back up a bit for those of you that have never played old school RuneScape before and are a bit confused as to what this game actually is.
Versions of RuneScape.
First of all, there's currently 2 versions of RuneScape. You've got RuneScape 3, which is the most modern version.
Oh, okay, so everybody hates RuneScape 3 and it sucks, right? Because like that's my understanding of RuneScape. I don't know a whole lot about it, but everybody hates it and it sucks. Okay. The graphics do look better though.
Version of the game, and you've got old school RuneScape, which was initially based on the 2007 version of RuneScape and was released in 2013 as a legacy version of the game for the players who didn't enjoy the direction in which RuneScape 3 was heading and quit the game in the years prior. The main differences between RuneScape 3 and old school, in short, is that RS3 feels a lot more like a traditional MMO in the sense that it has a hotkey style combat system, more detailed graphics, voice acted quests, and a lot of microtransactions, often at times feeling rather cash grabby. Progression's also much faster, and it has half the player population that old school has. RuneScape 3 isn't a bad game, and I do enjoy it from time to time, but it doesn't have the same charm or support that old school has, so I definitely recommend old school RuneScape over RuneScape 3. So what do you actually do in RuneScape, and how do you get into it? Well, as this game is definitely more of a sandbox MMO than a theme park, it's all about setting your own goals. Some people have the goal of building their character in a way that makes them optimal for PvP, others don't train any combat skills at all, instead maxing out all of their non-combat skills to become really rich. Some want to complete every quest, achievement and challenge in the game, kill every boss and clear all the raids, and others just join clans and mess around in minigames all day. For me personally, I have 2 RuneScape accounts. accounts, one which is known as a pure account that has level 1 defense and very high strength, range and magic stats, which keeps its overall combat level low, allowing me to deal massive damage in PvP, but also take a lot of damage, and my main account which I'm working towards getting all max combat stats and finishing every quest in the game on. Another common account people make is called an Iron Man. This is something you can choose to do when you create a character. Making an account of this type will basically lock you out of any form of player trading, meaning that you'll need to craft or gather every piece of gear or every quest item.
Let me go back and read this.
You'll need to craft or
no Iron Man restrictions. Iron Man cannot trade, stake, receive player kill loot, scavenge dropped items, or play certain multiplayer games. Hardcore Iron Man only has 1 life. Okay, so if you die, you lose your character. Holy shit. Ultimate Iron Man cannot use banks or retain any items on death. Holy shit.
Gather every piece of gear or every quest item for yourself. You basically need to be completely self-sufficient and play RuneScape the purest way possible. As a brand new player, my recommendation would be to make a regular account and first just set yourself the goal of completing all of the free-to-play quests the game currently has. That way you should learn the basics and how things work. Then if you like the game enough, you could subscribe to it to unlock the rest of the content. If as a new player you're struggling to figure out some of the quests, don't feel bad about looking up some quest guides. To be honest, I don't think I've ever done a quest in this game before without following a guide, but I still enjoy doing them quite a lot. It's just that...
Holy shit, these quests are more complicated than, like, the entire war campaign. These are more complicated than the entire war campaign, 100%. Look at this, it's insane, dude. Look at this, wow, what the fuck? I mean, I do the war campaign, like, I have no idea why we went, like, we were doing the war campaign, I have no idea why we're over here. I have no clue. I'm just sitting around just, like, killing stuff randomly. I didn't even need to pay attention, I was reading chat the whole fucking time. This is ridiculous. It takes 5 hours for some quests? Holy shit, man, and how many of these are there? See, that's one of the good things, I'm gonna say one thing, that's one of the good things about having games with low graphics, is that they can make so much fucking content because they just don't have to spend as much time doing it because it's easier to make. 200 of these. Oh my god.
Some of them are quite long and involve a lot of reading to figure out what to do.
Wow.
Oh, and big tip for new players, when playing RuneScape, download and play the game through a client called RuneLite.
Okay.
It's completely free and gives you a ton of customization and convenience options, such as using WASD to move the camera, a stretched full screen mode, XP per hour, improved map, and smoother animations. Playing with this client has made my time with this game so much more enjoyable. When it comes to business model, old school RuneScape is a subscription MMO with limited free-to-play. The free-to-play is limited in that you can't explore the entire world, you can't do all the quests, use all the items, and you can't train all of the skills. But similar to games such as World of Warcraft, RuneScape allows you to earn membership through in-game currency via buying something known as a bond, which for 3.6 million GP will give...
Are these just like WoW tokens? Like, let's just get this out of the way. Are these just WoW tokens? Okay.
Give you 14 days membership, which is a pretty good deal when you consider that at mid to late game you can make between 500 and 900k an hour at some places. There's quite a few players who pay for their membership exclusively with in-game currency in this game. If subscribing isn't something that interests you, then don't worry. As a free player, you'll be playing on worlds which only contain other free-to-play players. You can't even equip members' items in these worlds, which essentially gives free-to-play its own PvP gearing and money-making meta.
So, wait a second. So does that mean you can buy gold in RuneScape? Effectively, if you just... Because do you, like, buy the bonds and then sell them to other people? Okay, so you can actually just buy gold. Pay to win, you can buy gold. It's very expensive. What do Venezuelans have to do with this? Like, I'm, you know, this isn't my community, so I don't really understand how this works. I mean, like, I don't know. Google Venezuelan OSRs. I don't. Oh man, dude. Like. Okay, so the reason I'm not going to be able to do that is I can't spell Venezuelan. Like, I'm like 90% sure. Okay, yeah. Wait, what the fuck? Inside Venezuelans trading online accounts for money. With Venezuela's economy in shambles, Venezuelans have been turning to online games like RuneScape to make a living. RuneScape players are hunting down Venezuelans, an investigation into the Venezuelan gold farming that goes on in old-school RuneScape. Oh my god, dude. I let me at least finish this, okay?
At this point, you're probably thinking, why should you play RuneScape over other MMOs?
Okay.
What does this game offer that others don't? For me, one of the biggest things RuneScape offers is that feeling that you've been on a real journey and adventure
awesome
with the game's questing. Like in most modern MMOs, questing's just so shallow. It's kill X amount of this, collect that, go interact with this object. It's all so predictable and mindless.
This guy used to be a WoW YouTuber.
RuneScape's questing is completely different in that it feels like actual stories with multiple steps.
Okay.
For example, I recently did a quest on my Pure called Desert Treasure. Just to unlock this quest, I had to reach 53 thieving, 50 fire making, and do something like 8 other pre-quests. When I eventually unlocked the ability to do the quest, just start the quest, it felt like a reward in itself because completing it would give me access to a new spellbook, new robes, and a new staff, which beforehand I wouldn't actually be able to equip even if I had the item. This quest alone took me around 2 hours to complete and had over...
Imagine the content being the reward. That's what WoW used to have. The content is the reward. Holy fuck, man. That's big. That Blizzard forgot that. Somewhere down the line, I think in like ICC, they forgot that. Or Wrath, they forgot that. Yeah, I used to, I know this guy, Lazy Peon. I've known this guy for years. And I remember like he started playing Black Desert and like everything. So he used to only stream and like make WoW videos. Then he ended up stopping doing that and because he got bored with WoW and started doing like MMO reviews.
40 steps to it, taking me across vast distances of the map, and when the quest was finally finished, it felt much more rewarding than the standard kill and collect garbage you get in other MMOs. If I was to describe RuneScape questing in a few words, it would be non-linear quality over quantity that actually feels like an adventure. Another great aspect of RuneScape comes from how interconnected the various aspects of this game are. For example, Slayer is a skill in which you get certain assignments to kill a set amount of a specific type of monster. When you're doing this, you're also leveling up your combat skills such as attack, strength, defense, hit points, range, or magic.
This is kinda
when
crazy.
you complete a certain amount of Slayer tasks, you can then craft a helmet that gives you a significant damage boost. However, you need 55 crafting to make it, so you level to 55 crafting, and in doing so, not only can you make a new piece of gear, but you've also achieved the crafting requirements for multiple quests that will in turn unlock other pieces of gear or give you experience in other skills. I guess another big reason why a lot of people play RuneScape has a lot to do with the game's skill ceiling. Despite how it may look, it's actually very high in both PvP and PvE, and there's content in the game to really push yourself with.
What do you mean?
For PvE, you've got raids which require high coordination, prayer switching, and smart management of resources, and there's also a single-player challenge called the Inferno, which rewards players with the best cape in the game. 4 months after this content was released, just less than 500 players actually managed to beat it and get the cape.
Shit.
I don't think it's something that I'll be getting anytime soon.
That's like the lava
when it comes
thing.
to the
Even I know what
PvP,
that
there's a
is.
lot of subtle little tricks you can do to outplay your opponent, tricks which I don't think I'll ever master. From the point of view of a new player, it may just look like the PvP PvP is purely down to RNG, but in reality there's so many difficult things you can do to get an advantage. I won't go into specifics, but to be good at RuneScape PvP, you need a lot of practice, fast, precise clicks, and build muscle memory. Personally, I'm still really bad at this part of the game. In comparison to other MMOs, I don't think the problems OSRS has are too big when it comes to actual game design. Sure, the game can feel quite grindy at times, which certainly isn't for everyone, but I think most RuneScape players enjoy the grind to a certain point, as it makes your achievements feel more rewarding. The two biggest problems RuneScape has, and quite frankly will always have, is players real-world trading both in-game currency and accounts, and players using bots to level up their skills and make money. These are two issues that Jagex have been fighting against ever since I first played the game back in 2006, and the only solution they've had to fix real-world trading was to limit player-to-player trading and kill the wilderness, which almost killed the game. As a free-to-play player, you'll definitely notice the botting issue. They're fucking everywhere on free-to-play worlds, but on members worlds it's not too bad. Players do get permabanned if they're found out to be taking part in any of these activities, but that doesn't seem to have discouraged people over the years. It's just something we deal with at this point. Other than that, with old school RuneScape allowing players to vote on what updates make it into the game, a bit of a rift seems to have formed between players who enjoy PvE content and players who enjoy PvP content.
Wow, how familiar does that sound? Yeah, I knew this voting thing is going to come with some drawbacks.
With each side sometimes voting against updates that the other side wants, regardless of if that update would affect them.
So it's a war. Wait, no, it's not a war. It's American politics. Why do you vote against the other guys? Because fuck them, that's why. It doesn't matter if it affects me. Fuck them. That's the way it goes. I love it.
Overall, old school RuneScape is a game that I've had some great memories with ever since I first played back in 06. I have to admit, when Jagex initially released the old school servers back in 2013, I never expected the game to actually rise in popularity in the way that it has, and it's awesome to see the game receive such massive content updates over that time. If you've never played old school RuneScape before, I highly recommend you give the game a good solid try, especially if you used to enjoy games such as Ultima Online, and at least try and complete all of the non-members quests. With the community this game has, and the way the devs actually listen to what they have to say, I can honestly see this game being around for at least the next 5 to 10 years. At this point, I think the formula of old school RuneScape has proven to be timeless, and with a mobile release coming soon, as well as it being one of the few non-pay-to-win MMOs that receives regular community-approved updates, I think there's no better time to try the game than now. And for me personally, I'm going to keep working on my goal of completing every quest on my main account, and hopefully one day experiencing some raids. But that's it for this video, guys. As always, let me know your thoughts on old school RuneScape in the comments below, and if you're interested in trying to get into the game, then I highly recommend checking the RuneScape Beginner's Guide by a YouTuber called Theoatrix. He's also got a bunch of other guides that have personally helped me quite a bit in the past. Additionally, if you want to talk about RuneScape or other MMOs in general, then feel free to join my Discord server in the description below. Thanks for watching, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you again really soon.
I just like... I mean, these graphics are really... I mean, they're really not good. Like, Spaceway, thanks for the 15, man. Thank you very much. I don't like to click links, though. Yeah, I actually do want to see the Venezuela video. I don't care if I said I didn't. I want to see it. I like Glink, and I'm actually curious about this, because I remember whenever they told that there was like a big news article, and it said Venezuelan currency is now worth less than gold in World of Warcraft. And I thought that was funny, like, honestly, because I don't live there. Now, if I lived there, I don't think it'd be funny at all. But over here, it's just great. You know what I mean? While classic graphics aren't really that great. Well, I don't know. I feel like they... Okay, so I don't really like the click to move, because like the game is click to move in a way. I don't like the combat system. I don't like how you have to click things out of the inventory, etc. Like the hotkeying systems. Like it's just, listen. I know a lot of people want me to play this, and if I do commit to the MMO thing and like playing the other MMOs, this is an MMO, and I will play it. okay? If I commit to the idea, I will play this game. Is that acceptable? Okay, McConnell is playing Elder Scrolls Online. Wait, what? 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 No, he's not. There's no way. No, dude. No, he would never do that. Look, he did tell me he was playing the game, but I genuinely thought it was a joke. So Nixium converted another one? I mean, I don't know what to say. This is bad. Like, WoW converted him? Yeah, that's true. He went back to WoW, and now he's not playing it. Wait, wait. Let me see, actually, when was the last time McConnell was online? Let me just check right now. 10 hours ago. Oh my God. I don't know what to say, man. He better, I'll be upset, all right. What's this? Asmongold sounds like a girl picking shoes. MMOs. This one's ugly, this one's plain, wah wah. Well, you're right. You're definitely right. Because girls care a lot about their shoes. They're like, oh, I want to have these shoes, right? And yeah, you're exactly right. Because I want to have the best MMO. I want to play the right thing. If I'm going to put 10,000 hours into a game, I want it to be the right game. All right? That's all there is to it. I don't feel bad for that comparison.